This is Inside Toombs County Football with Toombs County Schools. I'm here with Toombs County High School head coach Richie Marsh. Coach Marsh, thank you for coming to speak with us again today. So, had a really weird week last week. We'll talk about that. Also, this Friday we have Tattnall County coming into the pit. They're coming off a big win this Monday over Pierce County, and so they've already played this week. They're going to play us again, us on Friday, their second game in 5 days, and so we're getting ready for them. But looking back to the past couple of weeks, because we weren't together last week, first off, Tattnall County, we had them at home a couple of weeks ago in the pit. That turned into quite a shootout. It was quite an exciting game at the end, and we were able to pull that one out. So can you talk about that game a little bit before we move on to the other two?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a region game. It was homecoming. And I think our guys have always done real well with the homecoming activities. We've kind of eased into it, and they do a real good job of making sure that we understand there's a game at the end of the week. But saying thank you to our school for all that they do to support us. And so I thought that week went really well. A bunch of weird things happened at the end of that game when we had a chance to really put it away. But we were blessed to come out with a win. And again, a lot of just things that, not normal things happened at that. But coming out with a win in a region game, and you know how important region games are to accomplish your goal of going to the playoffs. That was big for us because we feel they're a good team in the region. And then, like you said, then the hurricane comes through. And that was kind of popped on everybody that weekend. I mean, we knew, but we didn't know which track. And then the track took the storm right across Nahunta where we were going to be playing. So it was back and forth for them to try to figure things out. And to be honest, we didn't respond well going in, us as coaches, us as players, going into that game on a Wednesday night, and by far we didn't get it done, and they did a good job, and they made some big plays, and they beat us, and now again, dealing with extra time, and hopefully we got some rest over the weekend, but we're dealing with extra time going into this Tattnall game, which is a big region game for this Friday.
Well, looking back at last week, we had 1 day of practice, really, and then we had 1 day of walkthroughs, and then we had to go to Nahunta, and like you said, you guys were back and forth with them trying to figure out when we were going to play that game because the original track of the hurricane had it coming straight over where we were supposed to be playing, and they did have worse weather than we did down there. So looking back at that, with that 1 day of practice and then that 1 day of walkthroughs, how do you even attempt to get everybody focused to go into a game on Wednesday night like that?
Well, I mean, it was what it was. They had the same situation we had. To be honest, we were probably overly excited about winning our game on the past Friday night, and they had lost to Pierce the night before, on their Friday. So I'm sure their want to was a little more, and that was evident, and that's on me. Their want to was a little more than us on that Wednesday night, and that's a fact. And they made plays that they needed to make, and they made some really good plays, and I think they played their best ball game. But that's what they needed to do to perform well on that night, and we didn't. And so I've got to do better.
Well, looking forward to this Friday, we have Tattnall County coming into the pit. They played Pierce this Monday, actually. Come out with a win, 28-17 over them in Baxley. They're going to come in this Friday. It'll be their second game in 5 days. So what are we seeing on film, and how are we preparing for them in practice this week?
Well, they played their best ball game Friday night against Pierce, and that's their rival. And I'm sure they were disappointed in how the season, when the season started, they were ranked second in the state. And they were disappointed after their loss to Wayne, I'm sure, and not happy with the way things were going for them. So I'm sure their want to was really good. But they're a good football team, obviously. To beat Pierce, they're good. Pierce is doing really well also. I mean, they made a lot of plays Friday night that they needed to make. I mean, they had really good special team play, quarterback play, And then they were able to challenge some of the man coverage stuff that Pierce was giving them and some mismatches that they had. And they played a big game. And then DJ Bell, they did a really good job stopping him. And I mean, he made a couple plays, but I think he was injured. And Apple played really well on defense. And then offensively, it was their best performance. So, but we got to recoup too. We need our best performance of the year, and we're still yet to have that. So it'd be awesome to have that this Friday. Coach Corley, I want to say thank you to you and our cheerleaders and our band and our student section has been. I mean, that whole atmosphere that we've created, or the school has created for us to play at home. Man, I think our dog pound, our student section, and cheer and band making that thing happen like that. The pit's a great place to play. I've just never seen it like that. And I just want to say thank you to those guys that are doing that.
Well, especially that student section, Coach, because the last Friday that we were there against Tattnall, they showed up. They were in the student section. They were cheering the whole time, engaged in the game. And we're definitely going to need that again this Friday with Ackland coming into the pit. So all of you students, make sure you show up, that you're in the student section, and that you're ready to cheer on the Bulldogs this Friday, because you really do make a difference in the game and in the atmosphere at the stadium when you show up like that.
And people have questioned our school spirit at times, but I want to say I don't think it could be any better right now than what it is, and thank you. So sick 'em dogs!